Last episode, you got the AI to answer in a clean, reliable shape. Now let's ask it something real, something only you would actually know. When does my Netflix renew? It's written down right there in your own notes. So you ask your assistant and watch what happens. It can't tell you. It says something polite and useless like that depends on your billing date, check your account settings. Sit with that for a second. Your own personal AI, and it's blind to your own life. And there is a worse version of this. On a bad day, instead of admitting it doesn't know, it just makes one up. A confident, specific date that happens to be completely wrong. And a confident wrong answer is the most dangerous answer there is, because you have no reason to doubt it. But underneath both of those is the exact same problem. The model has never seen your notes. So today, we fix precisely that. We give it your own knowledge, so it stops guessing and starts answering from your real documents, and even tells you which one it used. To fix this, you have to know exactly why it happens, and it comes straight from what the model actually is. From Season 1, a model knows only two things. The first is whatever was baked into it during training, and that is patterns of language, not a filing cabinet of your documents. It did not memorize your notes. Your notes were never in there. The second is whatever text is sitting in its context window right now, the model's desk, the only thing it can actually see in this moment. So look at what just happened. Your private note is not in its training and you never put it on the desk. The answer lives in neither place the model can look. So it does the only thing it ever can. It predicts the most plausible next words. Sometimes that comes out as a polite "I can't help with that." Sometimes it comes out as a confident guess. But it is never actually your answer because your answer was never in front of it. It isn't lying. It has literally nothing to look at. And once you see it that way, the fix is almost insultingly simple. The model can only use what's on its desk. Then put your note on its desk. So you try the obvious thing. Before the question, you paste your note right into the prompt. You give the model the question and the note together on the desk. And it works. It reads your note and answers correctly. So why isn't that the end of the episode? Because pasting one note is easy. The real you has hundreds or thousands. And the instant you try to paste them all, you hit two hard walls. The first, the desk is finite. The context window only holds so much, a callback to Season 1, and your entire filing cabinet does not fit on it. The second is subtler, and it's the one that gets people. Even when it does fit, context is not free. Every token you cram in costs you money and slows the answer down, and worse, burying the one sentence that matters inside 1,000 pages of everything else actively makes the answer worse. The model gets distracted by the noise. So dumping everything in is not the answer. You don't need all of your notes on the desk. You need the one right note. And that turns the whole problem into a single question. How do you automatically find the right note? Here's the first thing anyone tries, and watch it fail, because the failure is the whole lesson. To find the right note, just search your notes for the words in the question. The question is, when does my Netflix renew? So you search every note for the word renew, and you get nothing back. 0 matches. Why? Because the note you needed says this: my Netflix plan is billed on the 22nd of November. Read those two together. When does it renew? The plan is billed on the 22nd. Same fact, same meaning. And not one single word in common. Renew and build are the exact same idea, wearing different clothes, and a plain word search is completely blind to that. This is the wall, and it's a deep one. To find the right note, you cannot match words. Words are just the surface. You have to match what the words mean. And matching meaning is the exact thing Season 1 already taught us how to do. Remember the map of meaning. You can take any piece of text and turn it into a point in a vast space. It's embedding. And the whole magic of that space is that things that mean similar things land close together, even when they share no words at all. Renews, build, next payment, charged again, all different words, one neighborhood. So here is the move that powers everything. Ahead of time, you take every note you own and drop each one into that space as a point. That step has a name. You embed them and you keep all those points in a store. Now someone asks a question. You take the question and you embed it the very same way, so it becomes a point in the same space. And then you do something beautifully simple. You just look for the nearest note points to the question point. The question, when does my Netflix renew, lands right next to the note my Netflix plan is billed on the 22nd, because they mean the same thing while every unrelated note sits far away. You didn't match a single word. You matched meaning as distance in space. Now matching by meaning isn't flawless. Exact codes or names can still slip past it, and we'll come back to fix that later. But for renew versus build, it is exactly what we needed. That is how you find the right note. Now snap the whole thing together, because you've just built something with a name. This loop is called RAG, retrieval-augmented generation, and it is only 4 steps. Step 1, once and ahead of time, embed every note and store the points. Step 2, when a question arrives, embed the question and retrieve the few nearest notes. Step 3, take just those notes and paste them onto the desk, right in front of the question, not everything, only what's relevant. Step 4, the model answers, but now it's reading your actual note, so the answer comes from your data instead of its imagination. And here's the part that builds real trust. Because you know exactly which note you handed it, the answer can cite its source. You can click through and check. Now sit with what did and did not happen here. The model did not learn your notes. You did not retrain it, its weights never moved. You simply became its librarian. It asked a question, you fetched the one right page, and it read that page back to you. That is the entire idea. Let's build it for real, free, local, on your own computer. Here are 3 of my own notes, and one of them is about Netflix. Notice it says the plan is billed on a date. It never once says the word renew. First, the naive way. I ask the local model straight out, when does my Netflix renew? And just like our story, it can't actually tell me. It deflects and says something like, check your account settings for the exact date. Useless, because it has never seen my notes. Now RAG. One time, I embed all 3 notes into the meaning space using a small, free local embedding model and store them. Then I ask the exact same question. The system embeds my question, finds the nearest note, and look, it pulls back the Netflix note, the one that says build, found purely by meaning, never by the word renew. It pastes that note in front of the question, and now the same model answers correctly, the 22nd of November, and tells me which note it used. Same model as a second ago. The only thing that changed is what I put in front of it. Before you run off and rag everything, one honest catch, and it's the one that bites every beginner. RAG is only ever as good as what it retrieves. If your search hands the model the wrong note, the model will read that wrong note and give you a confident, well-written, completely wrong answer, garbage in, garbage out. So a huge part of building good RAG isn't the model at all. It's making retrieval reliably find the right thing. And that should make you a little uncomfortable, because right now, we have no idea how good our retrieval actually is. We looked at one example and it worked. That's not knowing, that's hoping. So here's the ladder so far. The model only knows its training plus what's on its desk. RAG puts the right note on the desk by meaning and cites it. But it didn't learn your notes, it retrieves them every single time. And the question that separates people who build impressive DMOS from people who build AI you can trust is the one we've been dancing around. How do you actually measure whether your AI is any good? That's next.